Hi guys, I'm Andy. Welcome back to Backpacking UK, the YouTube channel that's all about hiking, backpacking and wild camping. Right, today I'll be giving you some tips with hiking and backpacking in extreme heat. If done properly, you get moments just like this, which are just simply unforgettable. However, if you really do mess up, you get it wrong, you're going to suffer like you've never suffered before. So today I'm going to give you lots of quick hints and tips to make sure you have the best time ever. It's another absolutely roasting day today. I've been running each morning this week and I thought I'd give a proper hike a go. So very quick and simple tips today, but they could really potentially save your life. So first of all, on the hiking front, definitely try and get that hike in early. It's a little bit different for backpacking, especially if you're wild camping just for a night. You want to leave late, but whatever you do, ideally you just want to avoid that real peak temperature part of the day, because that's when you can really get caught out. So what should you be wearing? Well, I'd go for light coloured clothing, really thin if you can. There's lots of special materials out there, like this is a Heatgear top, Coolmax, these materials that are designed just to keep you as cool as possible. It's also worth looking into some of the base layers out there, because there are summer specific ones and they can just create a little air gap, just helps you breathe that little bit between your layers, keeps that top layer directly off your skin. Now this is where trail runners really come to their own. You want to try and keep what you're wearing and carrying to a minimal really, because it makes such a difference with the real extreme temperatures. But trail runners, they're absolutely superb. They're really grippy but really breathable as well. You know, you don't want your feet to overheat. Could cause all sorts of problems for your feet. There is the problem with protection, but if ever there's a time for trail runners, it is hiking and backpacking in the heat. Now, sunglasses are an absolute must. Can help prevent headaches, but as well can really look after your eyes too. So definitely get some half decent ones with some proper lenses in. So preparation. Now you can't afford to make mistakes if it's really, really hot. You want to plan that route. You want to share that route as well. You must share it with at least one other person. Tell them where you're going. But if it's really, really hot, definitely have a plan B. I'd even have a plan C, to be honest. Because when it's really, really hot, it can take you by surprise. All of a sudden, you can feel really, really fatigued quickly. It's quite frightening how much your performance drops. But I mean, I always have a route on my phone with offline maps. That's really, really important. That is, if you get a chance to get your maps offline, it means that if you don't have any signal, your GPS will still work. You'll still be able to use those routes. But I always take like a GPS watch as well. I haven't today, but it's not a bad idea having a map as well. So your preparation, it's not just about planning. It's well worth sort of carving up, which I sort of do for all my sort of hiking and backpacking trips, but the main one by far is hydrating. You know, if you've got a really, really, really big sort of event lined up, big trip lined up, I'd even start drinking more 4 days before, and certainly 2 days before, let alone the day before. You know, you'll go through so much fluids with the extreme temperature. I mean, already today you can see I'm sweating buckets. So that's something that's well worth doing. But carrying water, you know, as cool as it looks to have a couple of little nice 500ml bottles on your chest straps, that's not going to do anything. It's going to last you no time at all. You know, fill a bladder, by all means take a bottle and a water filter, take a bladder and take way more water than you need. Don't worry about the weight. I think they say, what's it, a 2% loss of hydration equates to a 10% loss of performance. So when you think of it like that, scrimping on water is just not worth it. Now, protection from the sun, definitely take something for your head, like a cap or a hat. But also those little hiking umbrellas are really, really good too. You don't have to spend £40 for a top branded one. I'm sure you can find one on Temu for 99p. But certainly when it's extreme temperatures, those umbrellas are really, really good because they just take all the sun away from your head. You know, a cap's only going to do so much, still going to get it on your face, on your neck. So although they do look a little bit silly, don't be scared to take an umbrella with you. Now, sun cream's an obvious one. Get the thick stuff on. Personally, I'd say like 30 as a minimum, really. Highly, highly recommend. Take one of those little travel ones with you. And I would probably take a 50 for that, because chances are, if you need to use it on the go, you can feel yourself burning, in which case at that point, you just want to block the sun away from your skin. Now, one thing I'd highly recommend is like acclimatising yourself a little bit before you go out hiking and backpacking. So, for instance, if you're on holiday, you know, don't start going on your holiday hike on day one. I think you're going to find it absolutely impossible to do. So, you know, try and acclimatise yourself. For instance, like back home, you know, if we've got a hot day, I'll go for a run. You know, it won't be particularly enjoyable, but it really, really helps me for times like now, when I'm out there doing what I love to do, and it just doesn't feel anywhere near as bad as it would if I'd just gone straight out to do it. Now, don't be scared to take breaks. To be honest, I would highly recommend, like, take a break under some shelter if you can find some. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of looking after your body. You know, let your body cool down a little bit, get that heart rate back under control, ease that sweating a little bit, take the break, and then you'll be ready to go again. Now, when I'm hiking and backpacking in really hot conditions, there's a few things that I notice, apart from the sweating, but my like for like heart rate increases massively, and if I like exert myself, then that can really go through the roof. What I'd say, just tone it down a little bit. Like I knock off at least 10%, ideally like 15. Now, one serious thing to be mindful of is heat stroke. Now, it's quite difficult because I think the heat stroke symptoms, lots of the symptoms can be from just exerting yourself hiking and backpacking in the heat anyway, so that's quite difficult. But the ones I'd probably highlight are like headaches, if you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling disorientated, you know, just uncontrollably sweating, like your body has just got so hot it can't cool itself down. The point where you just want to drink all the fluids that you've got, and chances are you might be in a little bit of trouble, but I would certainly seek shelter, you know, drink your fluids, try and cool your body down, and if you've got any sort of communication, I would maybe let people know early doors that you're struggling. So one thing I'm a big fan of is like communication devices. It's all right for me here. Bizarrely, it seems whenever I go abroad, I've got full 5G signal wherever I go. Back home, that's simply not the case. Quite often, you're just in blackout spots. So, you know, I'm really pro the satellite communicating devices, things like my Garmin InReach Mini 2, or things like my Garmin Messenger. What it brings is, you know, it's not about, oh, I'm struggling, I'm going to use the SOS button and get Mountain Rescue to come and help me. It's there to give you confidence that if the absolute worst happened, and I stress that, it's if the absolute worst happens where you've got no other choice than to call the emergency services, you've got that as a backup. Now, you want to obviously get your planning right, so that's not going to happen, but accidents do happen. But when you're planning, when you're choosing what kit to take, you know, plan for the worst, hope for the best. I've said it God knows how many times now, but it's so true. But this video is just really like a summary of some of the main points. What I'll do in the description, I'll put a really comprehensive list of things that I think you should be doing, taking, just to make sure you have the best journey possible and minimise the risks, because you know you're never going to eradicate everything, but if you follow some simple steps, you can have like an absolutely fantastic day like this. But you know, you just get to see things that other people can't. So hopefully you like this video. If you've got any additional tips on top of this video and what's in the description, please feel free to put them in the comments section. But hopefully see you hiking and backpacking soon. Cheers.